So it's like we said before, that sexiness isn't just about sex. We do know that sex sells. So why do so many companies stay so far away from anything that even hints at being sexy?
Oh, great question. Again, they could just refer to the fear episode last week because it really just comes down to that. I mean, there are a few companies, I imagine, who are staying away from that stuff for good reasons. It's part of their founders' values, and they are on earth to be a modest type of person or something. And so they run a modest company.
Sure.
But as with previous examples, these are so rare that it's actually someone like that. Maybe Chick-fil-A is a good example of that. But seriously, this is not the issue with most companies.
Right.
Most of them are just afraid. They're afraid of turning up sexiness. They're so focused on function and profit and efficiency that they forget the value that lies in aesthetic form. They think it's a waste of time to invest in, or it will hurt their numbers or something. A lot of times companies start off kind of bold. They're making bold decisions. They're happy to piss people off. They're happy to do their own thing and go their own way no matter what society says. And then they find their niche and they find their fans. And people are like, wow, everyone was too scared to do this, but you guys as a company did this. That's why we joined. And then they lose their way and they forget their roots and they stop becoming bold, especially when they start tracking data and clicks and numbers and they focus on quarterly reports and pleasing the shareholders. And all of a sudden, that's all they care about. And that's their whole focus. And they think if they ever lose any significant chunk of people that the world's ending and they need to backpedal and backtrack and go the other way. They don't commit to bold decisions most of the time. They are afraid. Most of these companies are run by human beings, CEOs, who are afraid AF. These guys just live in fear. They finally built something big and they don't want to lose it. And now that there's so much on the line and there's so much to lose. But when they were small, they didn't have so much to lose and they were happy to gamble it all. They lost that gambling spirit, that bold risk-taking spirit. And you can watch it. You can watch the companies stagnate and slowly die.
Yeah.
You look at YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, when they all got started, they were leading edge change makers. They were like changing the game. They were impressing governments and stuff. They were making moves. They were like starting buzz and controversy everywhere. But as they grew, they started to realize they need to please advertisers. They're so hungry for advertisers. They're so eager for advertisers. The advertisers are what keep their company alive. Everything I built, if I screw with the advertisers too much. Yes. And I'll lose my bonus and my profit too. I won't have that private plane or that next big thing I want to get. I won't have the lifestyle I want. I won't impress the woman I love, whatever. Mm-hmm. And they're afraid now of advertisers, of losing advertisers. But if you look at a company like Playboy doesn't give up. They're not chasing those advertisers. They don't care about those prude advertisers that YouTube and Instagram are chasing. It's not their demographic. They don't care about it, and they're not afraid of losing it. And so since they're not afraid of losing these prudish advertisers, they can make any decision they want, show off whatever they want. They don't have to censor anything. They can be as sexy as they want. Now, this might stop them from growing as big as Facebook, but since they're not so obsessed with growth and constantly chasing profits and all that stuff, they're not compromising their values every 2 seconds. They're not making decisions out of fear every 2 seconds. In fact, I think the son took over for a while and he was afraid. He wanted to chase profits and he thought Playboy could grow bigger if they started playing Facebook's game, going for advertisers. Right. So if Playboy went non-nude for a while, playing the exact same game as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. They were trying to get the advertisers, chase the advertisers. Yeah. I'm glad they reversed that. Me too. Because then the world would have even less sexiness than it already has.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it would get to the point where I'm not allowed to see boobs anywhere. Like it would just be a giant concrete jungle of efficiency, profit, and advertisers. We would censor everything. Right. Like we're close to there.
Well, Instagram is headed that way. That our client who was talking about, that was Instagram. They deleted 25 of her videos today because they are not having it.
She showed some skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever. My point is, you can see when a company is afraid, mm-hmm. and you can see when a company is bold and confident and daring. And you can see which companies are desperate to reach the largest possible audience and take over the world. So they will gladly stop all sexiness and censor every word that you utter, all in the name of the almighty dollar and growth. And you can see the companies who are more niche and they're like, we're just going to do our thing and we're not obsessed with growth and world domination and we're just happy to contribute something to the world. The world needs a little sexiness, so Playboy's going to be that.
Yeah.
And you can see what happens when they try to go a different direction, when they try to go the fear-based direction and court the advertisers.
Yeah, that usually doesn't work out for them. Yeah. So, and you can see that in other instances with like Bud Light right now and other companies.
Yeah, that's basically it. Most of those companies are making decisions out of fear. And I would gladly, happily sit across the table from any of those CEOs and have them convince me otherwise. No, let's talk it out, man. I'm open. I can listen if you got a better reason, if a real reason, if it's not for profit, it's not for shareholders, it's not for fear, it's not for your desperate, like obsessive world domination. And instead of just trying to create a better world and a better life, show me. But they wouldn't. They wouldn't sit down and have this discussion with me because I'd destroy them.